ESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Huddle up.
66 Hitchx Vegas Flare. I'm one ready.
It's time to break down the boldest plays.
Let's go, baby. Boom.
Hardest hits.
Woo!
And the craziest stories from around the NFL.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Last Sunday Huddle of January the 25th, 2026. Welcome on in, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy NFC and AFC Championship week for the NFL. It is Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. We got Cade Chumslin, as always, behind the glass. We are presented by Hard Rock Bet. First things first, we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. YouTube at ESPN South Florida, and Twitter and Facebook at ESPN West Palm. Got you up until 11 a.m. today. A lot of storylines to break down, a couple coaching carousel things to get into, a couple phony bets to figure out, and some housing crises that have had to do with the Russo family. Nonetheless, we're presented by Hard Rock Bet. Go down that app today, and you could get started and put just $5 in the app. If you win that first $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets immediately deposited into your account. Download it today in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Hard Rock Bet is your place to be if you want to get in on the games. That's player props. That's game by game, live betting. You name it, they got it. Any league, anytime. That is Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in for the wager. Terms, conditions apply. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. Like to welcome in also from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. He is visiting on vacation, and it is every bit of the word based on how he has handled the last couple of days here. Mr. Christopher Russo, my father, joining us now. Hi, Dad. How are you?
When was the last time you ate before last night? Can I ask that question?
What do you mean? What's going on with
We took our
that?
son. Hello, folks. How are you today? We took our son out to dinner last night, and the kid, did they not feed you at Good Karma Brands? Oh, my goodness. I mean, a full pizza, a full chicken dinner, a Parmesan, then a pasta, and a tiramisu for dessert. I mean, and then pancakes this morning. My goodness, in between a little Alcaraz and Tommy Paul. I mean, how much food can one eat? For
You thought that was a problem?
Oh, you way too much.
This
food.
is nothing surprising. I've always had the
Again, you have, and then we went to your apartment yesterday, which is an eyesore to no end. Hasn't changed a bit since we got it. Well, he got it himself a year and a half ago. Anyway, welcome.
Well, you know what's funny? You want to come after me immediately. Let's think about you for a second, who, by the way, you're here for about 10, 11 days. You came from Connecticut, flew out, last flight out before this terrible winter storm that is pounding the Northeast right now. In the precipice of 15 to 19 inches of snow, depending who you ask. So you got out at the right time. You got out 2 days ago, you got in. And so you're here for about 10, 11 days. And you know what's funny is we're sitting at breakfast this morning, my mother, my father, and myself, and we're getting alarm. Both of you guys are getting alarms on your phone saying the house is, about 32 under, about 15 degrees in the living room, and nobody knows why. And so we're thinking, oh boy, did somebody break in? Nobody ended up breaking in. We've had somebody check on the house, but you screwed up because now the pipes or something's going on with the heating unit. You're going to go back to the house in New Canaan, Connecticut, and there's going to be icicles coming from the kitchen ceiling. This is where you screwed up.
Well, what did you want me to do about it, for crying out loud?
Hold on. For 2 weeks, you knew you were going to be out of town because you're going from here to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara. And so you're not going to be in the house for 2.5 weeks. You'd think as a homeowner, as a tax-paying American, that you'd probably call the gas people or the heating people, and you'd have them check on everything before you leave the house for 2 weeks, but you did not.
And now we have a major problem there, and you can't watch the two football because they got the house issues
to
here concern
we go.
yourself
back
with.
On me.
And you cannot, under any circumstances, take Mrs. Russo and a cousin who was unceremoniously invited to Colin Russo's house to watch the stupid games because it's an absolute.
For these championship
I have
games
never
today.
seen it. It's a pigsty.
You're done wrong
almighty.
See, this is where you're wrong.
It's a disaster.
It's not a disaster.
He's got chicken wing bags all over the place. He's got broken down bicycles. He's got rice grains on the stove. Forget the men's room. I mean, it's just a pigsty.
Yeah.
It's a 23-year-old boy.
Well, here's the problem.
23-year-old boys live like this.
What would
and
you
it's
want
a
to do?
disaster.
Alternatively, to watch the games today for the championship games on Sunday, 3 and 6:30. So you got 7 hours of football you got to coordinate, and your grand idea is to watch it on a 12 by 12 tiki bar TV at the Breakers.
It's not ideal, but I can't go to your place.
That is a terrible idea. It's the worst idea you've ever come up with. That is as bad as it gets.
Same place
that is as bad as it gets.
The tiki bar that Colin insisting on making a bet. Decided to bet the Commanders against Philadelphia and Zacharias for the receptions and lost both bets and was broke, and he can't afford it. Anyway, welcome. Nice to have you with us on this busy program today. And I love this location.
Yeah, you like the location.
Do the people come by and feed you?
You said that last year.
They give you a little raw meat. They put it through a little pipe. And say,
like a chimpanzee trying to bother him?
Look, Daddy, he's moving. He's hungry. He's awake. Do they do that? Do they walk
No, they don't do that. What are you going to go? You're going to lose 8 straight bets today with Father Rob in the game?
I've lost plenty. Indeed.
Did you have one yesterday on the dock?
We lost a couple. Yes, we won one.
What'd you take a couple college basketball?
Yeah, we like to do the college basketball over with the money lines of the NFL.
It's the strangest little duo of bets.
It works.
The St. Bonnet. It doesn't work.
Well, betting doesn't work. You lose money. Don't bet. You know better than anybody.
Well, we should.
I got to collect $400 every season's
Dead
over.
wrong. Dead wrong
Put
here.
money in the Chase account.
Dead
You
wrong.
don't have a pot to pee in. Believe me.
You're dead wrong. You're
Dead.
dead wrong. You come in the season. Oh, I love the Giants over. I love the Raiders over. Both of those. Week 6, you were dead there. So let's forget about that.
That's fair. Plus Arizona. Don't forget
Arizona. 3 godforsaken bets.
Terrible.
And I had almost went 4 for 4 if it wasn't for Micah Parsons. You're blowing out his knee in the middle of the Denver game because they were up 9 when that happened. I would have won that bet had they won that game.
Well, you don't do badly, but I did walk out of here with cash last year when you had the Commanders. And to tell you what a degenerate his father is, I had Perrine on, over 11 yards.
Yeah, and we waited the whole game to last play.
The game. Perrine gets the first down against the Bills on a pass play. I'm going crazy. Look at this. Yes, sir. With Perrine. Anyway, Father Rob and I from Rapid City will figure out what to do today with some props teams. Let's start with that. Okay.
You want what for the games today?
Let's start with the games.
So you like first of all, let's start with the first one.
Would you give up the 4 or not?
I would take. I think Denver's going to play well today.
So you take the points.
So let's start on this. Jarrett Stidham's backup quarterback. Nobody's seen him play in about 750 days. He hasn't thrown a pass in a regular season game since the end of 2023 season and 2024. Played the last 2 games of the year when he played for Denver. Then he's been with the system. He's been with Peyton, so he's no stranger to what's going on. You think Peyton will get him prepared for the game?
I think he will not be the reason they lose the game. Now, again, would I want him to have the ball on an 80-yard drive down by 4 points on the last possession? I'm not going to go that far, but I don't think he's going to be intimidated by the big stage. So I don't think he will be the reason that Denver does not get to the Super Bowl.
You know what? I mean,
so you take the 4.5 points?
I would take the 4.5 points because here's the thing. If you're going to have a plug-and-play quarterback, we need something from you. Huge game. You need one of 5 things. You need all 5 things to have the boxes checked. And I think what you need is a good offensive line. Denver's got the best offensive line in the league. You need a good defense. Denver's got an excellent defense, excellent pass rush. They're going to force a couple turnovers against that Patriot offense.
I agree with that.
You need an experienced head coach who is an offensive-minded guy who's going to be able.
And you need to be
You're going to be able to hold his hand. You need to be home, and you need to have a beatable team. I think in this situation, all 5 boxes are checked.
What does your little buddy Cade think, by the way?
Cade, what do you think about the game today? Would you take the 4.5, little buddy? Go ahead. 6'7", by the way.
Yes, he is not little.
Dang, I broke first sentence. Okay, I've been going back and forth on this all day, and I believe Colin is on the right trail where everything for Denver is in the right hands today.
It's in the right spot.
Because
situationally, you like where they're at.
Yes. And it's also impossible for me to take the previous 2 games that the Patriots have played at face value. You look at the Chargers, most beat up offensive line in the league. Justin Herbert didn't have a chance. Then you look at Houston. CJ Stroud had a demon inside him or something like that.
4 turnovers first half.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So it's like, do you really take the Patriots for who they are based on those 2 games? So then you have to look at the regular season, who the Patriots were. Well, then you can't even take that at face value because they had the easiest schedule in the league by a mile. So truly, I have not seen this Patriots team go up against a true good team in the NFL. Now I look at Denver. I saw Denver with a minute left in the game go down the field and score a touchdown when they needed to. Yes, did the Bills tie it to go into overtime, or that was the touchdown to
yeah,
go into
that
overtime.
gave them the lead. It was 27-23.
But I saw them with the game on the line actually drive down the field, and their receivers were blowing by Bills defenders. Now I'm looking at a Patriots defense, which, yes, it is clean, it is good, but it hasn't been tested yet in the slightest. And I think if Jared Stidham actually plays a clean football game, where it is middle of the road, maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 220 yards, I actually think that's going to be what gets the job done today.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand anti-New England because of schedule.
One thing I got to give New England credit for, and Cade's a Texan fan, so he's crestfallen about how this all played out last week. The one thing you got to give the Patriots credit for is when the Texans went down the field at the end of the third quarter last year and made it 21-16. Everybody got a little dicey, especially on the Patriots side. They haven't done anything offensively, and the Patriots went right down the field, scored a touchdown. They really put a cap on the game. That's where you showed them a little guts.
And they had a good drive at the 3-yard line when they had all those runs.
That's right.
Time off the clock.
So they showed you offensive prowess against a great defense when they needed to. So I'm not ready to say that the Patriots are still untested because they've went against great defenses. You know, the Charger defense is great, and so is the Texan defense. The offenses stink. You know, you're not challenged points-wise, but you're challenged with the offense against the defense. So,
yeah, I mean, I think it's a very tricky game to call. I think Cade is right, though. I think you probably take the points. I think that Denver's defense, you hit it right on the head. Their defense, Peyton will get Stidham
interior pressure. Zach Allen, former New Canaan High School grad.
And Drake may fumble. Good field goal kicker. I think that Denver will realize everybody else has got to step up to make up the difference. I think Denver getting, is it 4.5?
Yeah.
I think you probably play Denver, and New England might win by a field goal. I mean, if you told me 24-21 Patriots, would you be shocked?
Yeah,
would not be.
Do the Broncos play the game safe? Do they play the game conservatively, or do they try to surprise people because everybody in the building knows Stidham's not going to do much?
I think the first couple times they're going to get the ball, they're going to let Stidham make some plays. You can't wait until it's too late.
I agree with that.
Try some things during the game, and I think Peyton will do so. He's a good coach. He's a very good offensive
and this
game
guy knows
planner.
The system.
And Stidham he likes. And Stidham played really well against San Francisco when he was on the Raiders a long time ago. Late in the year, he scored about 30-something points. And McDaniels was coaching the Vegas Raiders at the time when Stidham played. Look at the game.
That was Stidham?
That was Stidham. And he played really well in the game. Now, the Niners won, but he played really well in the game.
One thing I liked about Stidham, people didn't put any stock into it. 2017 when he was on Auburn. 2017, he beat number 2 Georgia and number 1 Alabama in a 3-week span.
100%.
I like that. There's something to that. There's something to that. That was the best year that Auburn's had since the Gene Chizik year in 2010. So I got to get, and that was, Stidham played well on that team. I remember that game, those games well. It was the year that Georgia and Alabama were in the championship, and Tua came in at halftime.
I do think Stidham will play well in the game, but I know the Patriots are tricky. Now, again, you can make the argument here that the NFL needs the Patriots, because if the NFL ends up in the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, that's going to be a major problem.
Denver's not as much as a sexy market as New England is too.
Patriots, Vrabel, May, Kraft.
There's something to it.
New England in that Super Bowl, an MVP candidate.
And against either of the 2 NFC counterparts, they'd be fine with it.
Either way. Now, if they get Denver in the game with Stidham, that's not going to have as much sex appeal. So keep that in mind. Maybe the football gods, maybe they want New England in the game for that particular reason. I would
kind of put a asterisk to the fortune of New England in this scenario.
You have to.
You have to. It's a classic New England postseason.
And I do think that they will use that for motivation, because don't you think Vrabel's smart enough to say, guys, they all think we're lucky to be here. Let's show them.
Yeah.
I think he's been using that throughout the postseason.
Is it drive you crazy that it's just another, this is another walk in the park for the Patriots, because we can name 5 different runs that they've had with Brady there where they've been fortunate to escape games, and they're doing it again.
Absolutely right. And they're playing backup quarterback today. And if Stidham actually played horrific today and they won the game, then people are really going to say Patriots are in the Super Bowl, and this is an asterisk because they played Stidham.
And Stroud,
as Cade said, the Charger offensive line.
And the Stroud was as bad as it gets.
And 4 interceptions in the first half.
D'Amico should have benched him in the second half, and he did not do that.
You could have. The biggest play of that game was the Jones interception at 10-7.
Yeah.
When he went, that was a huge play. Killed the game. But again, listen, the game, it'd be a little more interesting if Knicks was going to be playing. I do think Denver will play pretty well in the game. Now, the question is that going to be good enough to win? That's the question. I'm not sure if it's good enough to win, but I think that Stidham will play well, and the Broncos would be right there in the fourth quarter. That would be my take. Now, again, the Patriots might win 24-20, but that would be my take.
Yeah,
as we
close.
approach it.
I like the idea. He's not going to be the reason they lose the game. I think he'll play a stable game plan.
Rich Gannon told me that on Tuesday on the air. That Chris, he will not lose the game.
Here's the thing: isn't
That
everything
won't be the reason.
speculation? Is everything speculation with Stidham? Nobody's seen him play, so you can't make any mark to his ability because nobody's seen him play in 2 years.
Well, you base it on the fact that Peyton's a
You
very
trust
good
everything
coach.
else. You trust everything else.
Yeah, and he's shown, as you brought up the 2 games in college. I'll bring up the Niner game in the 2 years ago. You'd have to look up that game. Okay, there was Vegas hosting the Niners. It may have been 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But he played really
Well, the
well
last
in
time he
game.
played too, he played for Denver. He played the last two and a half games of the year, and he won one of them. So he won the last home game he played. It was December 31st of 2023, and he beat the Chargers when he was on Denver.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So it must have been 22 then.
Yeah, it was the year
Against San
before.
Francisco.
He's been there for 3 years, I believe.
So we shall see. Again, enjoy the games. It's not that man. Then, of course, the Ram game, which we'll go and talk about after a break, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You have somebody who buys this show after every now and then or not?
What
Got
do you
some
mean?
commercials?
Yeah, we got commercials. Yeah,
We
we
do.
do have commercials.
Oh,
you don't think
Colin.
you don't think we do advertisements?
They got peanuts. They got peanuts for you.
Oh, they're trying to get the gorillas to wave at the crowd at the zoo? Is that what you're thinking? Well, that's just better than any
It's
dive you've worked in your career
They
when
got a
playing
sign
radio.
outside. Don't the animals.
Selling the Jacksonville Sun tickets, working in some basement dive with a Comrex. I mean, I can't listen to that. Let's be fair.
Well, the Jacksonville Suns, I've always said that you remind me of my scenario. I was in Jacksonville. You're in West Palm Beach.
That's where you started your career.
I had a dump of apartment. You have a dump of an apartment.
My apartment is not a dump.
It's
It is
very
far
similar
nicer
to
than
the
anything you've had.
the
Far nicer.
nonsense. It's very similar to the situation that I was in back in
I
1980.
think the best part about my apartment is the dust buster, the handheld vacuum that I have.
He was trying to show how. And Mrs. Russo wants to get him a cleaning service to make sure the place
And I
gets picked up.
refuse. And I
He
refuse.
doesn't want to do that. And he can afford it. Trust me. With all those Delray Beach nonsense things that he does, he can
What
afford
Delray Beach nonsense things
Tennis.
I do. which hasn't even started yet, by the
He
way.
gets paid for that. He goes there and he announces the players and everything else. Last year he was
All right,
screwed
it's
up.
funny.
He had the wrong player. Didn't you introduce the wrong player?
Yeah, no. So I didn't realize that both players were behind the stands, ready to go, and the other player was waiting. It was Kecmanovic, who's a pretty good player. He was
That was
waiting,
bad.
waiting for about 35 seconds because I wasn't calling his name.
That was a bad one. That was bad. Anyway, Cade, he is a goofball, is he not, Cade?
Oh, he totally is. Two thoughts for you, Mad Dog. One, I found the Raiders game that you're referring to. Jared Stidham, this is back January 1st, 2023. So at the end of the 2022 season.
What were the statistics?
Jared Stidham goes 365 yards, 23 of 34, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a 108 rating in the loss to the
What was the final
49ers,
score of the game?
37-34
Yeah.
in overtime. But in overtime,
He threw an
Raiders
interception.
get the ball first and Stidham throw a pick.
Yeah, I do remember that. But he played great. I think
But he played great.
against a good team. Was that a Niner team that got to the Super Bowl? I think it was. wasn't it?
Nah.
Or maybe they lost to the Rams that year.
Remember the next year is when they went to the Super
They
Bowl.
were a good team.
They
that
were a good
22
team. They were a good team.
They were a playoff team.
I believe
that
was
was
the
when
team.
Brock Purdy. That was the year Brock Purdy took over and they lost to the Eagles in the
I
in
think
the,
that's,
in the championship
correct.
game.
They lost to the Eagles.
That's when they got beat up in the playoffs and Josh Johnson was starting in the NFC Championship.
And who
game.
did they beat in the first round that year?
That year was it Green Bay?
They beat somebody at home.
Was it Green Bay? Was that
No,
the last year of Rodgers in the
it was-
postseason,
it
or
was-
do I have
no,
that?
because that was
Dallas.
the divisional year,
It was
year before.
Dallas. They beat Dallas at home.
Yeah.
19-13. And then they lost in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas had beaten Tampa.
Second
That was
thing for you, Mad Dog.
Go ahead.
We might have to do this and after the break, but it is so funny that you keep talking about everyone walking past the office and wanting to throw us food. We've had more instances of people coming into the office to take food out.
Yeah,
Has Colin told you
thi-
about that?
Have you heard this story? So
No.
there was a situation. I would say it was about 2 months ago, where Mike and I were doing the show. There was no producer that day, so Mike was back there, and you have back there behind the glass as a producer role. And so we were both doing the show. He was on air with me. I sit in your seat right now. So behind you, there's a window to the front area of the office, which is right next to the front door. During the stream, which you could see right behind us, there was a gentleman who was I'm going to take a wild guess, a homeless man. It was a Friendsgiving thing. So everybody was a bunch of food in the office, a bunch of leftovers. Everybody was having a good time. Mike was behind the glass, and Mike saw on the Mike Rizzo, by the way. Mike saw that there was somebody behind who just walked in. The doors cracked open, and he walks in and he starts looking around, and he's definitely sketchy. And he takes food and he leaves. And this was mid-show. We caught him on camera doing it. And Mike didn't say anything because Mike was like, double taking. He didn't know how to react. The guy gets a bunch of cake, leaves, goes out to the window in front, and taunts Mike behind the glass and then runs off.
Before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, So we had that. It was the cake thief, so to speak.
So you did a lot of stuff on that.
Yeah, it was live on air. And Mike just goes, Colin, I think somebody just did it. And we broke down the film of it because we had it streaming live on air. How about that? So.
Wow. So somebody came in and took the food, and you had food right behind me.
Yeah,
here.
there was a folding table out because it was a Thanksgiving-ish event with the office. It was about 3-4 days before Thanksgiving.
I see.
Wow. So, you know,
I love the studio, but it's a strange place.
You do like the studio. It's better than Queens with WFAN.
It is. It's better than ours in Queens. It's not as good as it is Sirius, but it's better.
Well, Sirius, you're in like a little blue box. There's no natural sunlight. How about that?
Here you go. Here's a guy that wants to feed you, Colin.
We'll look ahead really quickly. Let's do our quick look ahead before we get to break here, presented by Jay Zolo and Associates.
Time now for a quick look, presented by the QuickBooks Pro experts at Jay Zolo and Associates. Since 1997, Jay Zolo and Associates has been helping Palm Beach County businesses with their accounting and bookkeeping needs. From expert QuickBooks services to getting your business finances in order, their team has the knowledge and experience to help.
Quick look ahead, presented by Jay Zolo and Associates, your leading certified QuickBooks Pro advisor firm. All right, 2 games today, 3 and 6:30. CBS, Nance and Romo will lead us off at Mile High with Broncos Patriots, both 14-3 throughout the regular season. Broncos having a superb year, but they're going to have an uphill battle here without Bo Nix, who hurt his ankle in the third to last play of the game last week in an overtime win against the Bills. The Patriots coming off of 2 lackluster opponents at home. They go on the road for the first time this postseason. They're 8-0 on the road. So they're looking to capitalize on an opportunity with a backup quarterback on the other side of things. Patriots are favored by about 4 points at home. By the way, since 1975, 4+ point road underdogs are 10-0 against the spread and 6-4 straight up since 1975.
In the championship game?
In playoff games.
Playoff games, if
home
you're getting
underdogs
4,
of over 4 points. Yes,
it's 4 points exactly.
So 4 and over is what the idea is.
And they're 10-0.
10-0 against the spread, 6-4 straight up. That is not accommodating for backup quarterbacks. But you got that, and then you got the NFC Championship, Rams Seahawks, a matchup that we've seen twice already this year. First time around, Darnold got intercepted about 3 times. Terrible in the game the first time around. Second time around, 37-36. An excellent game in overtime on Thursday Night Football about a month and a half ago. It cost the Rams the 1 seed. It got the Seahawks their 1 seed. It's going to be at Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington, 6:30. Burkhardt and Brady on the call on that one. You got Rams, Seahawks. Sam Darnold getting to the promised land, doing the unthinkable, or Matt Stafford and Sean McVay doing what they do best and winning playoff games. That is your quick look ahead, presented by Jay Zolo and Associates. We will take a timeout on the other side of things, get into the NFC Championship game. So whatever the heck else we get into, who knows? But Chris Russo, Colin Russo, Kate jumps into the Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet in ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, Colin and Mad.
Good people. It's Theo Dorsey. Let's kick off the new year with a home upgrade that's a win for you and the environment. A Culligan high-efficiency water softener helps you use less soap, less detergent, and fewer chemicals. Talk about a game-winning play. Try Culligan today for 12 months interest-free. Visit Culligan.com for more information and to schedule your free water test. Or just say,
Hey, Colin and Mad.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Hi, I'm Mike Caruso, your clerk of court of Palm Beach County. Did you know that right now scammers are targeting people like you with phone calls and fake texts, saying you owe money or face arrest for an unpaid traffic ticket? Don't fall for it. The clerk's office will never call or text you to collect on a traffic violation. We're here to let you know what's real and what's a ripoff. Learn the signs, avoid scams. Go to mypalmbeachclerk.com/scams to learn more.
ESPN West Palm and Yingling bring the energy for a big NHL showdown. Join the ESPN West Palm Street team at Townies in Palm City as the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers take on Utah, Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Enjoy $3 Yingling drafts. Don't miss the Panthers in Utah with ESPN West Palm and Yingling at Townies in Palm City, 2777 Southwest Martin Highway in Stewart. Yingling, the oldest brewery in America and a proud partner of the Florida Panthers.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
As teams fight for their shot to hoist the trophy, make sure the only thing turning up the heat is the action on the field. Keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in the postseason, not in your living room. With more than 800 Google reviews and a 4.8-star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Stay cool through every playoff moment and don't sweat the small stuff.
Roadrunner. This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Well, you've seen the PGA Tour's best on the course, but now it's time to watch them in the arena on primetime. Season 2 of TGL, presented by SoFi, is back with big moments, big personalities, and nonstop action on the big screen. That's shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtimes, city versus city, squad versus squad. Tickets are on sale now, but availability is limited. Visit TGLGolf.com to get your tickets while they last. TGL, presented by SoFi. Keep up. It is golf. Colin Russo, Cade Shumsden, as always, from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. YouTube at ESPN South Florida, Twitter and Facebook at ESPN West Palm. Chris Russo, my father, is joining us now in the studio as well. You got the NFC Championship today. You're playing through your player props right now. That's what you're interested in right now?
Right now, I'm thinking about the game first before we fool around those props. I'll let Kay get involved here too. To me, if the Rams are going to win the game, they have to take advantage of their one edge, and that is McVay and Stafford against Donald and McDonald offensively.
Need a drive. You trust the Rams win the Seahawks.
That's it. So you have to be in a situation where you put the game, if you're the Rams,
in the offense's hands,
in Donald's hands.
Yeah.
Because they have a better defense. They got a better kicking game. And
Good special
home.
teams.
And they're home. So as a result, you got to be in a situation where, okay, we got to score. Now, Donald was able to do it in the second game, was not able to do it in the first game. He's thrown 6 interceptions in the 2 games against the Rams. So I think maybe it's 6 turnovers, but it's 6-something against the Rams.
Yeah, it was terrible first game.
So maybe 4 interceptions in game number 1. So maybe you need to be, if you're the Rams, score 24 points minimum and figure out a way how Donald can get to 27. I think that's their big advantage.
Yeah, your strategy in the game is you got to keep the game out of the other piece's hands in terms of defensively and special teams. Special teams is very dangerous to Seattle. They can return kicks or touchdowns. They got Shaheed sitting there. Shaheed has made a lot of huge plays.
Shaheed's not getting the ball from me. I'm punting the ball. Every punt's going out of bounds.
And he hurt the Rams. He hurt the Rams.
He
up
caught the
30-16.
punt return.
Yeah.
He killed them. And then he killed last week. He killed the
game
Niners
was over
right out of the
before
game.
started.
So he is not getting that opportunity. If I have to have them start the ball at the 35-yard line every possession, I'll live with that.
Yeah.
But he is not getting the opportunity to beat me on some stupid punt return or a kickoff return. That's not going to happen. Now, Myers is a great kicker. He's a very good kicker. So you'd have to be a little concerned about him making a long kick. He almost made a 70-yarder against them at first game of the year.
Are you concerned about how the Rams have played the last month
Yes,
of the
I am.
year?
They've been choppy. The Rams have not played great.
Ever since 30-16 on Thursday Night Football.
30-14.
Yeah, they haven't played great. Yeah.
They haven't played well. They lost in Atlanta. They didn't play great against Arizona in Week 18. They didn't cover against Carolina, and they didn't cover against
Carolina
the Bears.
had them. Carolina had opportunities. There were 4 straight touchdown drives to finish that game.
100%. I am a little concerned by the Rams. Now, I do think McVay, here's what I would say. McVay and Stafford did not play great last week. Now, listen, he didn't coach great, play calling, and Stafford wasn't great.
Did he not coach well?
I think that he's very thankful that the Rams got him out of that game. I think he will call a very good game today. Weather will be cooperative. Not going to be terrible. And I think as a result, now they got to avoid that big pass rush. But I do think the Rams are going to score some points. So they're going to have to score 24. I mean, minimum. You're not beating the Seahawks 13-3. So you're going to have to put the game in Donald's hands because maybe last year, 9 sacks, he was terrible in the playoff game. Maybe he puts a couple of balls up for grabs and away you go. Yeah. That's the way I think the Rams.
You got to strike first. You got to make sure the Seahawks, they got to match you. And they're not going to match you if they're playing from ahead. That's where they're great. That's where Darnold does the bare minimum to win.
Right.
And if they're down 17-14 third quarter, Darnold, we need points here. Take us 64 yards down the field, get us a field goal range. That's where you feel like the pendulum switches back into the favor of the Rams.
100%. And listen, everybody making a big deal about Darnold last week. He was 12 of 17 for 124
Game was
yards.
over before it even started.
They
spotted him 20, and they had 2 straight fumbles in the first 2 drives for San Francisco.
10-0. He didn't have to do a whole hell of a lot. He made a couple throws, but he didn't have to do a whole hell of a lot in the game. So that is my game plan if I'm the Rams. Now, listen, that building will get a little tight in the second half. Denver's building won't get tight because they're playing the backup quarterback.
And they're playing with house money.
Seattle, that building in the second half, they expect to beat the Rams at home to get to win a Super Bowl or to get to a Super Bowl. That building, if it's tight in the second half, will get a little nervous. And the Seattle people will feel that.
McVay's traditionally been good in playoff games. There's something about these offensive coaches. You want to talk about that the Ram-Bear game. The offensive-minded guys, which is, I know, the new hotshot candidate in the NFL, the play caller head coaches, the Ben Johnsons of the world, Liam Cohen, if you want to include that, McVay, Shanahan. They have a lot of mishaps with managing football games. That is where I think they're almost too arrogant to understand when you're supposed to kick field goals and punt the football. Yeah, they're too arrogant. They think every play is going to work. That's the one thing I don't like about guys. And the thing is the one time you needed McVay to be aggressive last week on 3rd and 7 when you get spotted the free play, 2:07 to go against the Bears.
3rd and 10.
Yeah, and they did absolutely nothing with the ball.
Yeah, terrible. All right, Kate, let me hear your take on the game. Go ahead.
So as much as my heart wants to see Matthew Stafford win another Super Bowl, because when he was back with the Lions, him and Calvin Johnson were my favorite duo in the NFL growing up. But this is one where I think Sam Darnold doesn't have to be the hero. And I agree with you, Mad Dog, that that's what the Rams need to make happen, because when he is forced to throw the ball, he is less accurate for sure. But I'm just looking at Sam Darnold game by game. In the 2 games against the Rams, he's thrown for 44 attempts and 34 attempts. Those are the 2 highest attempt games of the entire season. He just hasn't had to throw the ball. Like you said last game, only 17 attempts for 124 yards. The 2 previous games, he threw less for 200 yards. He hasn't thrown over 300 yards since week, 7 on November 2nd against the Washington Commanders.
Wow.
Their only loss since October 12th was the 1 game to the Rams where he threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, he was terrible in the game.
Yeah.
But that's their only loss since October 12th.
Put the game in his hands, Cade.
No, I agree with you. That's the key. they haven't had to do that all year, and I don't know if they're going to have to today.
And that's fair. Well, the one thing you got to give Darnold credit because the Rams, like you said, the two highest attempts of the year are against the Rams. I don't think that's by mistake. I think that's because that's how the Rams play him. They want to take the game out of the rushing attack. They want to take the game out of the defense's hands, and they want to put it into his, and that's why he throws a lot. And the first time around, it went completely terribly, and he threw 4 interceptions. And the second time around, you make a lot of arguments that they were very fortunate throughout the game, that 2-point conversion to get the 8 points, to keep it within one possession there with Charbonnet when he picks up the ball. That was advanced fumble. And then on top of that, but the one thing you got to give Darnold credit for is he had those 2 big drives, end of fourth quarter and in overtime. He played well in the game. Played a winning football game. He tied the game up, and then he won the game with the touchdown in the OT, and they went for 2, and he threw a 2-point conversion play.
They had the Shaheed play.
Donald played great in that game.
Remember, he got the ball in a short field, too, because of a bad punt, I believe, and then that's what he was able to tie it up and go get the touchdown. But he played a winning football game the second time around. But that I do think that's by design.
The only reason we're even having a conversation about Seattle losing is because it's the Rams. The last 7 games for this Seattle defense, 0 points allowed to the Vikings, 9 points to Atlanta, 16 to Indianapolis. Then you had the big game with the Rams where they allowed 37. Then 10 to Carolina, 3 to San Francisco, 6 to San Francisco.
Yeah. Outside of San Francisco, not a lot of great offenses there.
The only reason we're having this conversation is because it's the Rams who they've played twice already, and they've played in good games that have gone back and forth. This is Seattle, to me, I'm not even going to think about the matchup in this one. Seattle's got the better defense. Seattle has the better run game. Seattle's at home in an NFC Championship game.
And that's the reason you take them.
And Colin, you love magic, mojo, vibes, whatever your saying is. You know the last 7 of 8 teams to beat San Francisco in the playoffs have won the Super Bowl?
That's a good one. I'll give you another stat. Teams that are playing a divisional opponent in the championship game at home for the 3rd time since the merger are 15-5.
Woo!
Straight up.
15-5 straight up for teams that play a divisional opponent in the championship game at home.
For a 3rd time. So the 3rd game of the year, for instance, in 1988, San Francisco hosted the Rams, and they were the 3rd time they played, and they were home, and they won. So that kind of statistic. Giants,
favors the home team 3rd time around.
3rd time around, 2 teams in the division, 15-5 since the merger in 1970. So that would make you think this is the 3rd time Seattle's at home. That would make you think that Seattle has the edge, plus the statistic you just gave us. What was it again? About
the last 7 of 8 teams, and this isn't necessarily something that you can bank on, but it's a coincidence. The last 7 of 8 teams to beat San Francisco in the playoffs at any point have won the Super Bowl.
The only one that did
was the Eagles.
Philadelphia,
the Eagles that beat them, and they lost to the Chiefs.
Correct. And I believe the last instance of the stat that you're giving, Mad Dog, was Rams-Niners when the Rams won the last Super Bowl.
Because that was the 3rd time and the Rams won.
Yeah. And they were at home, too, because it was the
4
seed versus the 6
seed.
seed.
They won the game. So, I mean, straight up. I don't know what that spread was in that game, but straight up. Again, this is I have a lot of confidence in McVay. I think Stafford will play well. I think the Rams will be right there. I think Kate hit it right on the head, Collie. I think you probably got to think defense, home field, one less game to worry about. Walker, you probably have to give the edge to this.
Which matchup do you think the NFL is looking for?
I think the winner of this game is going to win the Super Bowl. I think the NFL would probably want a Ram-Patriots Super Bowl. That way they can get the 2 big quarterbacks. They've played before. They have Stafford and May and
covers
and
both
May.
edges of the country.
That too. I think anything but Denver. I think Denver in that game will hurt the NFL. I don't think anybody's going to get that wrapped up. Now, if he goes out there and has an incredible game, I guess maybe we'll change. But I think that Stidham in the Super Bowl will not be a huge storyline. He's a storyline today. I don't think he's a big storyline at the Super Bowl. Any combination of Patriots against the NFC team is what the NFL wants. Now we'll see if they get it.
You think the NFL is going to get hurt today with Denver and Patriots in the early slot? You think they'll do above $45 million?
I think yes, it will because of the weather.
Keep a lot of people inside.
People are cooped up. So last week they had the Ram-Bear game on NBC, did $45 million. And that was a quarterfinal game. The Patriots at 3:00 did $39 million against Houston. This is a week later, more intense game.
And a huge snowstorm for 40% of the country.
They're going to get $40 million, $45 million for the first game and, somewhere upwards to $50 in game 2. But again, the game being close has something to do with it. They need a close game. That'd help.
And did you enjoy the Indiana-Miami game on Monday night?
Yes,
with the
a great
National
second
Championship?
half. And 30 million watched that game, which is a tremendous rating. And they watched the game, and they got into it. They had nothing to do with Miami.
Indiana fans traveled well.
They sure did. Indiana captured America's imagination. Nobody had never did something different. Never had won. Mendoza, the Midwest. You get in, you lock in the Big Ten, and you lock in Chicago. That game rating is because, and close game in the fourth quarter. That game's rating was because of the closeness and Indiana. It had nothing to do with Miami.
I made the
in
same
game.
argument earlier in this week. Indiana was a huge story in the night. Like that
They went 16-0. They got the Heisman Trophy winner, and it's Indiana.
And the losingest program in the history of college football.
So I mean, that's what carried that rating, and that's a great rating. That's a high rating for them for college football. So they did well. I had a big weekend in the NFL and in college last weekend, and obviously today is your last. I don't look at the Super Bowls the same way. Today is a football day, and now you got horrific weather half around the country. Today you got 7 hours of football. It's the last week you get until next September.
Do you like Santa Clara as a host city for the Super Bowl?
I do not.
You're not going to be. You're not going to stay for the game, but you'll be in Santa Clara.
San Francisco. I do not like Santa Clara. People don't like the stadium. I was there when they had the 50th, the Carolina game against Denver, and the stadium is 44 miles away from downtown San Francisco. They should be called the Santa Clara or San Jose Niners instead of the San Francisco Niners, but they couldn't build a stadium in San Francisco because San Francisco is not paying for a stadium for the Bartolos or the Yorks. The Giants got the ballpark because McGowan built the ballpark, all public money. All private money.
You're not getting money from
the
San Francisco or Oakland.
You're not getting money from California.
Yeah.
Period. You had Kroenke built SoFi, not the state. Nobody's going to build the money in California.
Yeah,
and
it hurts the
Balmer built this Clipper arena.
Yeah.
Nobody is building a stadium in that. That's why the Chargers left. Nobody built them a stadium. You are not. San Diego built Petco, surprisingly enough, but 9 times out of 10, you're not getting a publicly financed stadium in the state of California. They didn't get it in San Francisco, and that's why they moved to Santa Clara.
Look at the A's.
Can't get a stadium. So I don't like the fact that the Super Bowl is so far away. The stadium is not a great stadium.
You like the city as a host city?
I think the city has got a lot to do, so the city's okay. I've been there a couple of times for is it once or twice? I think this was just once, the 50th one, because they won in they never had a Super Bowl candlestick. Palo Alto, they had Super Bowls. I don't know if I was at that. Yes, I was. No, I wasn't at the Miami-San Francisco game, which was in Palo Alto Marino.
Okay.
I was in Orlando, Florida at the time. Next year it's going to be good. SoFi.
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah.
Next year is good.
The thing is it's already been in SoFi. What, is this the third time they've been in SoFi?
They had the Ram-Bengal game in SoFi.
That was the first one?
Yeah, second one.
They're going to do that a whole lot. They're going to have that place they're going to have it in that stadium 3-4 times every fourth year.
Absolutely.
I don't love.
Now, remember, a lot of people don't like the football on the West Coast because the radio stations can't go if you're an East Coast
and
radio
and a lot of the radio stations are East Coast based.
And they're not going to go because they're not going to put their morning show on at 3:00 in the morning. So a lot of the stations don't go to the West Coast Super Bowl because of the fact that the time difference kills the morning drive thing. And that is an issue. Now, I don't think the NFL cares that much.
No, they don't care.
50 years ago, they would have cared. Not so much.
It's a nationally syndicated event. It's no longer a local terrestrial event.
That's true. But if you have the Patriots in the Super Bowl this year, the morning drive shows in Boston are not going to go to the game. They just can't.
They're not going to go to that?
Tricky.
They wouldn't send it?
I don't think they would send them.
Maybe not send the morning show. They'd send the afternoon guys.
Afternoons will go.
They would send the midday guys, too.
Yes. The morning guys will not go. The morning radio shows.
That's a good point. You're going to have an East Coast team. You can't do a 6 a.m., 5 a.m. radio start.
Well, it's 3 a.m.
Can't do it. You're not going to get guests.
Nobody's in the
unless you
convention
record a couple guests. Yeah, you can't do it.
Well, you'd have to record the day before.
Can't do that. That's not fair. Chris Russo, Colin Russo, and Cade Chumsland. Listen, if you've been in a car accident, truck accident, stuff to slip and fall, fender bender down the highway at 95, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, the type that like to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for just any attorney. Go demand the best. Go demand the top of the line. Go demand Anajar and Levine. All it takes that one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call the free consultation today. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. We'll make some picks against the spread, make some prop bets. We'll do a couple more things on the other side of things. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Tough loss, but champions respond. I'm attorney Brian Lebovic. As proud UM alums, we know how to compete at the highest level.
I'm Esther Lebovic. At the Lebovic Law Group, we bring a championship mindset to every injury case. Preparation, discipline, and relentless execution.
When a client's future is on the line, we don't just show up, we play to win.
Don't wait. Dial 8-561-888-8888. No fee unless we win for you.
Visit Lebovic.com.
Hiring a lawyer is an important decision. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Every athlete you see competing in the College Football Playoff National Championship had to find the right path to get there. At IMG Academy, helping student athletes find the right path to the next level is part of the game plan. From a world-renowned boarding school that develops student athletes every day, to premier sport camps where skill is honed and elevated, IMG Academy prepares student athletes for the next level, on and off the field. And through IMG Academy Plus, student athletes anywhere can receive unmatched college recruiting support or even a personal remote-based mental performance coach. Start your preparation with IMG Academy.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with Yair Holtzman, partner and leader of Anshin's Research and Development Tax Credits Group.
The One Big Beautiful Bill Act restored full expensing of domestic research and development expenditures, allowing businesses to deduct qualifying costs immediately or choose among different tax treatments. Beginning with tax years after December 31st, 2024, special elections for small businesses can be applied retroactively. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we help businesses develop a proactive tax plan, identify qualified activities and expenses, and optimize cash flow and tax benefits. If your business is investing in U.S.-based R&D and looking to maximize incentives while remaining compliant with tax law, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
Spring training 2026 is coming fast to Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium as the Miami Marlins and St. Louis Cardinals return to Jupiter for 30 games in 30 days from February 21st to March 22nd. Come out to the ballpark this spring and make a memory that lasts a lifetime. Season tickets, groups, and mini plans are on sale right now. Purchase your baseball experience at RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com. See you soon at America's busiest ballpark.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Buffoon, Orbit Topper, 19 Uber, Jailbreak, Ralph Chowder.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Only 3 football games left in this calendar year that we're going to have, at least in the next 9 months before next season really starts. So you got to enjoy it. But when a trophy's raised, it can feel like the season's over when you see the Super Bowl finish up, but you don't want to feel too bad about it because on the ESPN app, it never really is over. With more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. That's no offseason, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season. Get all of ESPN in one spot. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today. Colin Russo and Cade Chumsman from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. It is Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X, ESPN South Florida on YouTube. Christopher Russo, my father, joins us now live from the studio. A couple things to still dive into. You got to make your bets. We got to figure out where we're watching the games, too.
That's a major problem.
It's not a major problem. There's a very, very simple. Very simple. We're watching it in my apartment.
Here it is. I'm watching the NFC.
Well, you want to watch it from a tiki bar at the Breakers.
Well,
where
it's not ideal
it,
either, Colin,
you're watching it cable television with it still got the pixelated on the TV because the TV was bought in 2003.
But there's cockroaches in the place.
There's not.
It's dirty in the kitchen.
You're
there's
dead
nothing
wrong.
to eat. There's nothing to drink.
Eat. Nothing. You want me to cook you something?
Well, I mean, you can't. There's nothing in the. There's not. You can't even get a glass of lemonade. I mean, it's.
Well, there's no lemonade. I'll give you that. There's no lemonade. I'll give you There's no lemonade.
I'll worry about that problem at 3. All right. How about let's go Cade first. Cade, the games 4. What's the Ram line, Colin? 2.5.
Yeah, I got to double check on Hard Rock Bet, but I believe it's around 2.
Let's do this right, Colin.
All right, Blitz the Book, Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Dad, this is Hard Rock Bet syndicated show. You're, phony bookie who takes you and Fat Rob for a ride every time he sets the line. So I'll say one thing right there. Rams are plus 2.5 in the game. And on the Hard Rock Bet app, Denver is plus 4.5 as well at home. So it is over 4 on the Hard Rock Bet app. I know you and your bookie, he'll probably give you
4
plus 3.
And it's a bad vig. And Denver's a bad vig.
And
2.5 doesn't.
Your bookie takes you guys for a ride. He does.
And the 2.5 doesn't help you.
He's on the payroll for you guys.
No, he's not on the payroll. Exactly. The 2.5 doesn't help you, so you got to take the Rams on the money line if you do anything. Why would you bet? The chances are it doesn't help you.
You're taking them straight up. You're taking them straight up. All right, so Cade, let's do this quickly. Let's do both games against the spread before we get into props. What's your takeaway? Let's start with the early game, AFC Championship.
I'm going to go Denver plus 4.5. I will not go up straight up because I do think the Patriots have the better overall roster, the healthier roster, but I like Broncos covering the line.
I do too. I would take the 4.5 at home. Good defense, something to prove. Stidham won't lose the game for him. I'll take Denver plus the 4.5 as well.
I implore fans to look up the 2017 Iron Bowl in which Jarrett Stidham took down number 1 Alabama with Jalen Hurts and company. And then the 2 weeks before, he took down number 2 Georgia. Both those teams were in the national championship in an excellent overtime game. Jarrett Stidham beat both of them.
Before he lost to UCF in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, what?
Denver plus 4.5. And they also lost to Georgia again in the AFC Championship game. But fine. I'll take a guy who has experience in a big game despite it being...
We all take Denver at 4.5.
Despite it being 2 presidential terms ago. Nonetheless, NFC Championship game. Cade, go ahead.
I'm going to go with Seattle. To me, I love the story for the Rams, but this is the better defense, better run game. Sam Darnold won't need to do much.
I'm going to take the Rams because I want to root for them. I'll make a heart bet instead of a head bet. I think you make an excellent point, Cade, and 2.5 doesn't help you, but I'll take the Rams. I'll figure out Stafford and McVay are better offensively than McDonald and Darnold and win the game. I'll go Rams.
I think that Darnold's going to show you something in this game. I think they're going to win this game because of Darnold. I like them. I like their offense today. I think they're due for it. Everything's churning in the right direction. They're peaking at the right time. The Rams are not. Rams have been on a downward trajectory since that Thursday night football game. I'm taking Seahawks minus 2.5. Prop bets. Cade, what do you like in terms of prop bets, either of the games?
You know what? As much as we have been talking about Jarrett Stidham today, I think the Broncos are going to have to go to that run game a lot. Give me an anytime touchdown from R.J. Harvey at plus 120.
What do you like? What do you like here?
I think there's a lot of these.
Here's the
you
thing.
Like.
Your betting buddies have had a terrible couple weeks.
Oh, terrible.
So
that
take this truly with a grain of salt.
That is the problem. Grain of salt is correct. I will do an R.J. Harvey too. Do you take him 38.5 yards rushing, or do you take him 24.5 receiving? I'll take the receiving because he might have one play for 25 yards.
Correct.
I'll do a prop bet with Harvey over 24.5.
And that's part of their offense. Nix is big on that. I anticipate Stidham to be some of the same. You didn't touch it. I'm surprised you didn't because we were both talking about it. I like Colby Parkinson today. Their leading receiver last week. I know it was a weird situation with Adams. You don't really know what you're going to see out of him. But in terms of player props, on the Hard Rock Bet app, Colby Parkinson is sitting around 26.5. Taking that over.
It makes sense. I mean, I could definitely see that. You could take Adams or Nakua. Now, if you take Nakua with receptions, you got to get 8, and it's a minus 125. If you take Adams, it's 4.5, so you need 5.
Again,
but it's plus 125.
This is with your bookie that takes you and Fat Rob for a ride every time you guys have a line.
That Hard Rock Cafe's got something different. They don't want you to win either.
Not
Colin.
Hard Rock Cafe. It's Hard Rock Bet.
Whatever it's called, they don't want you to win either. It's not like they want you to win. So, I mean, I grant you don't like my lines. You think Hard Rock is going to let Colin Russo win? What's Hard Rock have?
Well, you know what's funny? You know what's funny is whenever I make the season-long bets in the old days when I did it with you and your bookie when we were growing up, I'd always get burned with these lines.
It's terrible that I did that with my son. I will also admit to. Go ahead.
What?
I corrupted him at 15 years old.
15 years old. Hold on. I made some big-time bets when I was, in high school.
He
Rockies.
does it smartly.
Do you remember the Orioles and the Rockies over I had? Oh, those were big ones. I took the Yankees under one year. I won. Nonetheless. Appreciate you joining us. That was fun.
You're the best. Cade, excellent.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, Colin. I could do a halfway decent show this week.
Thank you. Cade Chumpson, Chris Russo, Colin Russo. We'll close things out. If you missed any of the program, go listen to Sunday Huddle on Apple, Spotify. Wherever you get your podcast, or go watch it back on YouTube at ESPN South Florida. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the games. Local programming this week. 2 to 4, theoretically speaking. 4 to 6, Russo and Rizzo. See you next time on ESPN 106.3.
The preceding program was paid for in full by Hard Rock Bet. Advice and opinions expressed during this program were solely those of the guests or hosts of this program and not of ESPN 106.3 or Good Karma Brands.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncut